Hey first grade, it's Miss Murphy. Thanks for joining me for a read aloud today. This book is called Something Happened in Our Town. And this book follows a white family and a black family discussing a shooting of a black man by police. And they're discussing it with their children, and so it addresses a lot of racial injustice and also provides messages about accepting yourself, empowerment, and positive community support. So this is a really important story during this time because something did happen in our town as well. So we're going to follow this book, and then hopefully this will help us understand what happened in our town a little bit better. Something bad happened in our town. The news was on the TV, the radio, and the internet. A lot of grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it, but the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some older kids talking about it, and they had questions. So everybody's talking about it, and that might seem relevant to you that, some people might think you don't understand what's going on, but you probably do. After school, Emma asked her mother, "Why did the police shoot that man?" "It was a mistake," said her mother. "I feel really bad for that man and his family." "Yes, the police thought he had a gun," said her father. "It wasn't a mistake," said her sister Liz. "The cops shot him because he was black." Emma was confused. "He's brown, not black," she said. "Some black people have dark brown skin and some have light brown skin," Emma's father explained. "Black usually means African American. Most of their ancestors were brought here from Africa as slaves." So this family, this is Emma, and they are trying to explain to her what happened. "I know what a slave is," said Emma. "That's when you have to do whatever the other person says." Yes, slaves had to do what white people told them to do. Even after slavery ended, white people didn't let black people live where they wanted, go to school, or vote where they wanted. Who are white people? White people came here from places in Europe or Russia or other countries. We are white, even though our skin is light tan. So this family is still explaining to Emma the difference between the outer differences between white people and black people, and maybe why these racial injustices started in the first place during slavery a long time ago. "Did our family do those bad things a long time ago?" asked Emma. "Yes," answered her mother. "Back then, many white people thought that they were better than black people, even though that isn't true." Liz added, "Some white people still think that black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not." "Was the man that got shot dangerous?" asked Emma. "No," her mother said. "Shooting him was a mistake. It was a mistake that is part of a pattern." "Like the pattern on my blanket?" "Yes, but this pattern is being nice to white people and mean to black people. It's a very unfair pattern." So now we're discussing this pattern that our country faces in treating black people different than white people. And this is a pattern that has gone on for a very long time, and we still see today, even though it is an unfair pattern, just like Emma's mom said. "So suppose you had a birthday party and invited everyone in your class except the black kids," said her mother. "How would the black kids feel?" "They would be sad," Emma said, "or mad. And you would be missing out because you never know who's going to be your best friend," said Liz. "And you can help others to be fair," said her mother. "Like telling Anna to stop teasing Ling about her name?" asked Emma. Her mother gave her a hug. "Yes, just like that." So we see Emma and her mom. She's kind of understanding how to stand up for the right thing. In another house, Josh asked his mother, "Can police go to jail?" Yes, said his mother. Why do you ask? The white policeman who shot the black man, said Josh. Will he go to jail? What he did was wrong, said his mother. So here's Josh, and he's wondering if police can go to jail. But he won't go to jail, said his father. Why not? Asked Josh. Cops stick up for each other, said Josh's brother Malcolm, and they don't like black men. Josh was confused. Why not? Some police are black. You're right, said his mother. Uncle James is a police officer, and so is my friend Kenya. There are many cops, black and white, who make good choices, said his father, but we can't always count on them to do what's right. And I think we've seen that a lot in our town, not being able to count on all police, black and white. There are some that make good choices, but we can't count on them all, just like Josh's father said in this page. Malcolm added, I could get stopped by the police just because I'm black, even if I don't do anything wrong. That's not fair, Josh said. What if it was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him? They probably wouldn't have even stopped the car, said his father. Sometimes white people are treated better than black people, said his mother, but it's not right. Everybody should be treated fairly. So these people are just giving examples, but these examples of stopping the car and shooting, these things are not right, but sometimes they happen. And we need to learn about them and discuss them. Josh's mother gave him a hug. We are proud of who we are. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela were strong and brave black leaders. They showed us that we can stand up for our rights and set good examples for others. They were treated unfairly, but helped others learn to be more fair. So you've probably heard of Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and Harriet Tubman, and they did help others learn to be more fair. And there's people today that continue to do that. Some people haven't learned yet, said his father angrily. Why are you mad? Asked Josh. I'm mad that we're still treated poorly sometimes, but I can use my anger to make things better, said his father. Black people have a lot of power if we work together to make a change. So Josh's father is angry, but he's going to use his anger for what? What did he say? He said he's going to use his anger to make things better. Use his anger to make powerful changes. I have power, Josh said, and I'm smart. His father smiled. You're right. His mother added, and you can change people's hearts by sticking up for someone who is not treated fairly. Like how Malcolm sticks up for me when the kids tease me about my glasses, Josh asked. He tells them to step off. Just like that, his parents said. So Josh's parents are teaching him that he can stick up for people who aren't treated fairly. Is that kind of what Emma's parents taught her to do on this page? Stick up for people who are not treated fairly? So they are learning the same things in their houses, but they aren't the same color, but they're learning the same thing, so that's important. The next day, a new kid joined Emma and Josh's class. His name was Omad, and he was from a country far away. Omad didn't know where to sit or what to do because it was his first day in school. He talked a little bit, but it was hard to understand him. He still didn't know English very well. He was still learning. So here's Omad on his first day of school, and he didn't know what to do, and he didn't really know English very well. Imagine what that would feel like, walking into school, and you spoke another language and didn't know what to do. After lunch, the class went outside to play soccer. Daniel and Sophia picked kids to be on their teams. All of the kids were picked to be on a team except for Omad. Daniel said Omad probably didn't know how to play because he was new. Sophia said Omad might not be good at soccer. And Josh remembered what his mother said about sticking up for people who are not treated fairly. And Emma remembered about what her mother said about unfair patterns and the birthday parties. So here's Josh and Emma remembering what their family said about treating people fairly. And Emma wanted to break that unfair pattern. So all of a sudden, Omad wasn't alone. Emma and Josh were leading him to their team. So there they are, running over to Omad, who was obviously really sad he wasn't picked. "We have enough kids on our team," Daniel said. "We don't need him." But Josh was ready. "Step off," he said. "He is playing." "Yeah," said Emma. "We don't want him to miss out." So there they are, making sure Omad can play. And just like that, Emma and Josh gained a new friend and started a better pattern at their school. And that's the end. So after they started a better pattern at their school, it's likely that these kids, Emma and Josh, will spread their pattern to others. Other people will want to follow their lead because they're gaining friends by not following this pattern. At the beginning, it goes through a shooting, and you all might have heard that happened in our town. But we can be like Emma and Josh and work together to change